Hello there. I'm pretty sure everyone is totally annoyed with the lava lovers during the mild meadow season. They throw a bunch of powder that damages you quickly over time, and a bigger threat of that, it stacks. But as of now, we don't have to worry about that for too long. We do have a particular weapon that can deal with those kinds of lovers. I promise you, this one is going to make your love partner's Valentine's Day better. Don't take this sniper's name personally. It actually applies to you when you use it. That weapon is called the Heartbreaker. Keep in mind, this sniper rifle is crossbow, not a bow itself. So if you are thinking in advance that Stoneheart Pharaoh works with the Heartbreaker, it does not. Crossbows are a totally different category of weapons, and only two of them exist in this Save the World game. This Heartbreaker and, well, the other weapon is actually called Crossbow. That is a part of the military weapon set. They may look alike despite its color, but the perking of theirs are different from one and another. You can obtain a copy of the Heartbreaker schematic by purchasing it from the event store at the beginning of the third week of Mild Meadow season. And since it's one of the holiday weapon set, it definitely comes around the corner of Valentine's Day, which is most likely around February. Since it comes around the third week of the season, you have plenty of time to grab it during the mild meadow season. What's even really cool is that the Heartbreaker actually deals insane amount of damage. It doesn't shoot through structures, but it does go through a straight line of husks, and it really is powerful enough to do so. Speaking about powerful enough, this Heartbreaker comes with a whopping 316 base damage, making it the second highest base damage of all sniper rifles in the game. Let's not forget about the crossbow from the military set. It also has the same base damage too. Both of these are right below the third rail weapon, the number one highest base damage dealer with just 395. I have covered the third rail sometime too, and there will be another video for it after a couple patches done for its second cover video. As for now, I will link the supercharged third rail video in the description below, as well as the Mythic Storm King run I did with the third rail after its first patch. So hopefully these two videos keep you content. But for now, we are gonna take a look on the perks of the Heartbreaker. So I've upgraded this to Sunbeam purely for damage. Very nice DPS number, by the way. I have Redline Ramirez on my loadout, but we'll get to that after this for sure. Pretty nice to see the elements perks. At the top, you can change it to any type of element you prefer to have on your Heartbreaker. But for this one here, I have it on energy. There is 30% overall damage perk, reload speed, critical rating, and critical damage. And its 6th perk is 30% weapon damage while aiming down sights, in which when you aim down sights with this weapon, that 30% damage buff stays. For whatever else we can have on this Heartbreaker, we can have magazine size on this perk slot and the 4th perk slot, since this weapon comes with only 4 minimum. And it really does have a very slow fire rate with just less than 1. So maybe having at least 1 magazine size perk would be alright if you want to shoot more, plus with reload speed. Speaking about reload speed, it is also one of these weapons that can have triple reload speed perks. I have only 1 reload speed because 1.7 reload time is more than enough to reload a weapon as quick. Even if it doesn't suffice as much time, well, it is a crossbow for a reason. Reloading this thing in real life does take time. Oh, next thing is headshot damage perk. I would honestly say it is a good option for this weapon because the headshot damage shown on the stats is insanely high, and the Heartbreaker is literally a very accurate sniper rifle. If you're really going for the head of husks when it comes to dealing really high damage, then this perk will be perfect for you. Fire rate perk is also a thing too. If you feel that the weapon doesn't really shoot as fast, you can have fire rate as an optional choice here. I did mention I have Redline Ramirez in the loadout earlier. That means I don't need to have fire rate perked here, and instead have a crit coverage with crit rating and crit damage. You can have either double crit rating or double crit damage on both of these two slots. You can use double crit rating if you want to hit as many crits as possible, or if you want to use a totally rocking out loadout, then double crit damage is alright as well. As for the 6 perks, we have 3 of them for this Heartbreaker. The 6 perk that I have currently, as explained before, I received the 30% weapon damage buff whenever I aim down sights. The buff won't apply when I don't use a Heartbreaker's scope. The other 2 we have is 1 is increased impact by 25% and stuns for an extra second. 2 is dealing damage, snares the target by 30% for a certain time. The impact 6 perk might actually be okay. It does have a good amount of impact to push husks if you're going for the stun. That is a good option as well. However, this sniper deals pretty neat damage, so if you feel like wanting to keep husks off guard by pushing them while dealing damage, that is also fine, but you'll sacrifice some damage from the ADS buff. And for the 30% snare, it is also not too bad if you want to just slow them down and you can take your time trying to reload, or you want to eliminate husks in one place or another. Applying a snare status effect is not that bad at all, especially for a sniper rifle. What I do believe now is that the 30% damage buff while aiming down sights is somewhat the best 6 perk for this Heartbreaker copy, because I wanted this to deal as much damage as possible. Now that we know the available perks for the Heartbreaker, we can move on to the loadout that I mentioned earlier that would do really nice with this Valentine crossbow. I know you guys are gonna say it's just another basic tank build, but let me remind you for this one, this Heartbreaker deals a ton of damage, but the downfall is shooting really slow, with or without fire rate. You'll die before you even know when you run a different squishy loadout, unless you're an average BR player that builds in every unnecessary situation. So to solve that slow firing weapon, I have Redline Ramirez as the commander lead for this loadout. She increases sniper damage by 17% and fire rate by 45%, which is very useful. Blast from the Past is the team perk here with Rex Jonesy and Prehistoric Isa. Activating it, Saurian Might and Support helps a bunch to increase overall damage every second of the weapon shot. Sure Shot perk increases crit damage for snipers by 75%. Locked and Reloaded adds 15% weapon damage for every time you reload. And lastly, Coconuts for the 16% damage and healing. I'd like to put this note here again if you haven't went this far or you skipped through timestamps. The Heartbreaker is not a bow weapon, meaning that Stoneheart Farah's perk does not work nor apply to crossbow's weapon category. If it were to be a bow weapon, it would be a very strong suit for Stoneheart because the Heartbreaker's base damage is crazy high, but unfortunately it is not. Other than that, I had so much fun running the Heartbreaker. It seriously does show a lot of promise, becoming a really strong sniper weapon. I do understand not many liked this weapon because of how slow it shoots, but the coolest thing about it is that the arrows you shoot can pierce through enemies and can possibly clear out crowds. And it's also great for single target combat as well. I highly recommend picking this up whenever you see it in the event store. That should be all for the Heartbreaker. Try it out in your missions and let me know what are your thoughts on this one. Hope you all have a great Valentine's Day. Even if you don't have a love partner, you still have yourself to love for. Take care of yourself and love yourself.